A very good morning and welcome to Finland. Kuusamo hosting the Nordic opening, and we've had an absolutely cracking weekend so far. Cross-country, Nordic combined and ski jumping all taking part here, and it's now the turn of the cross-country skiers to do their bit, their last race, the third of three phases in this mini tour, they call it, and the women racing over 10 kilometres today. They had a freestyle race yesterday, it's classic today, and Mike Dixon alongside myself, Patrick Winston. Mike, I can't see anyone who can stop Bjørgen. She's done this 2 years in succession. She now finds herself having won the first two phases with a massive margin over everyone else, 52 seconds clear. Is there anything that can stop her?
My only thinking earlier today, when it was snowing so heavily, it's only a 2.5 kilometre lap, I thought with her leading out there might be a small element of her situation being a little slower on the tracks. Outside of that, she really looks unstoppable. Kickin Randall does say she's going to push hard to try and close it quickly if she can, so she'll be going all out to close that 52-second gap, and she's in second place.
Well, that's a bold statement from Kickin Randall, but I think she needs to focus on defending second place, because she's got Latinmäki of Finland, who's got the home crowd behind her, in third, just starting 6 seconds behind her. But 9 seconds behind, we have one Justina Kowalczyk, who is without doubt the strongest classic skier on the tour.
And this Kowalczyk, yes, fourth place, and probably she will try and chase down and quickly catch Randall, so that pack might share the workload to help close down the gap between themselves and Bjørgen.
Well, we'll see how it pans out in the next half hour or so. We have, of course, 6 or 7 minutes before the start of the event, and lots of World Cup points on offer for the winner today, 200 points. And of course, if you get the fastest time today, you get a bonus as well. And so everyone will be racing hard for that. And I think we could see a number of Norwegians going for the win. Well, blue skies, mild temperatures by Finnish standards, -10, -11. It's very pleasant. There's been a little bit of wind, and there are a couple of areas on this 10-kilometre course where they will be facing a headwind. Not only is it going to be hard going, but it's going to be mightily cold as well. And we saw a few of the women in particular suffering with cold hands yesterday. And Marit Bjørgen herself was one of them, but she's full of smiles. Here she is.
52 seconds ahead. Is it enough for the overall victory?
Yes, it should be, but I have to have a good skis and a good day, and yeah, I have to race a good race, and then we will see after. But everything is possible today for sure. But you never know, and I will have focus on this race, and yeah, I will want to do a good race. So, and then we'll see after.
But you will have for sure less pressure on you, so you can enjoy the last stage a little bit?
Yeah, I can. For sure, it's only 10 kilometers also, so if I push a good race in the first 5, and then we will see how many seconds, and maybe I can slow down on the end of the race. But you never know, and we'll see. I will do my best today, and we'll see.
Thank you very much, and good luck for the competition.
Thank you.
That's Marit Bjørgen. I could win, I might not. I need to be good.
I might slow it down at the end.
If there's one person capable of producing a good race, it is her. She is just astonishing what she's achieved. She hasn't been beaten so far this season. Now, she's almost certainly going to win this mini tour, Mike, which gives her 200 World Cup points, 33,000 Swiss francs. That's not bad for 3 days' work. But will she go all out to win the day's race and get the fastest time as well, which is worth another 5,000 francs and another 50 World Cup points, just to make sure that she's won every single point she possibly could? Or do you think that won't concern her?
It seems like, just as you say, her interview, she's covering all her bases, her options, but just her indicating that she might slow it down if she's got a good lead, I would say indicates that she's not caring about the extra 50 points to have the fastest time today.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. She's had a hard weekend.
Do you think there should be 50 points for the fastest time of the day?
It really does skewer everything. Potentially, if Bjørgen could pick up 350 points for 3 days of racing, it's a huge advantage.
Yeah. Well, we've just seen Randall cross the line. She produced another fantastic race, second time on the podium this season. Good to see Latinmäki going well. The Finnish definitely need something to cheer about. Well, no surprises to see Bjørgen coming through. Started last and finished first. 22 seconds inside everyone else. That was a massive margin, and she'd built a huge margin by the first checkpoint. And in her interview post-race, she said it's days like this that make you come back time and time again, because she was just going so well. She was taking time off everyone and it was feeling easy. And there you can see the margin that she's built up, 52 seconds. It's much closer from second down to 10th than it is from first to second. So really, we'll try and keep an eye on the minor places. What about Italy? Are we going to see anything from them today?
Well, the first off the Italians, we have to go a long way down, Patrick. It's the Martin Topranin. She's down in 50th, 51st, 52nd position, so 2:35 behind. So it's a huge task to try and bring some of those positions back. Such a strong Norwegian field, though. From 16th up to first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 Norwegians in the top 15.
Well, there are the conditions. Still a minus 11.6. I don't think they've actually changed it from earlier this morning. The last time I looked, it was minus 10. But anyway, it's around that margin. It's still cold enough to be slow, but it's not quite as bitter as it was yesterday morning. Let's have a look at the course. Slightly different from yesterday, but still that big climb just after you've descended out of the stadium. And don't forget, they're going round 4 times today, so 4 times up that climb. If you take the first 2 too hard, you're really going to struggle on the last few.
And look at the course profile. If you're not in good form right now, you don't get recoveries with those descents, those 20-second descents. And that's where someone like Bjørgen, who's really strong, she's on good form, she gets quick recovery, ready to attack the next climb.
And Kiloinen for Finland, starting number 8. She'll be 1 minute 28 behind the leaders going off the starting blocks. And she finished in 15th last year. A bit disappointing in the last day, dropped 5 places. But last year, the final day was a freestyle race. This year, of course, it's a classic race. So this is a chance for Justina Kowalczyk, who's down in 4th, to make up a couple of places. Are we going to see her finish second? I think that surely has to be the most likely scenario.
You would expect so, but we can't discount Kiken Randall, who's kicking off, who's starting in 2nd position.
Kirsten Stera of Norway down outside the top 15 after, I guess, a disappointing day. Top 10, she's down in 13th, 150 down. She's a great classic skier and could work with Vibeke Skofterud, who starts just 8 seconds in front of her. So I think that Norwegian pairing will challenge at some stage. Chandra Crawford came to fame in 2006. Hasn't really established herself since then.
Some good sprints. She was there looking better in Gällivare, but not quite coming through. In fact, I've just got word that she's not actually going to start, although still on the list, she's not going to start this one today. This snow, Patrick mentioned it earlier, if anything's going to slow Bjørgen down, remember she's skiing out there first, and there's a little bit of this fresh powder snow in the tracks.
There's Kiken Randall. Can she get her 3rd podium finish of the season?
Altogether, we have 8 skiers within the first 60 seconds. And then another.
So welcome to Finland. It's a bitterly cold morning for the races. You can stay nice and warm. Nice cup of coffee while you watch this one. It's going to be good. It's going to be fairly fast as well. We're looking for a time of around 25-26 minutes for the 10 kilometres. The Norwegians are hot favourites to take at least the top spot, and might be worth a wager on Therese Johaug to come through and claim a top 3. She starts down in 7th position, 1:26 behind. So away goes Marit Bjørgen, the queen of cross country, the champion of last year, and of course the golden girl of the World Championships in 2011. And I guess you could say she was the golden girl of Vancouver as well. There's nothing this woman hasn't won except the Tour de Ski.
And interesting, she was saying yesterday that is her aim for this season, but if she brings herself to her best form just after Christmas, will that affect her World Championships bid for more medals?
Well, that doesn't matter. She wants to win the Tour de Ski. That she clearly stated yesterday. That's her #1 goal. And of course, not going to America, she feels, is the way to prepare for that. But last year, she wasn't 100% before the start of the Tour de Ski. You can't rule that out again. It's so difficult to stay healthy right the way through the year.
Well, that's right. The flights after these events, or back home to Norway where she's going, and then I think down to the Alps for altitude training. A lot of travelling.
Keegan Randall goes second, followed by Krista Latenmäki, who gets a decent cheer from the crowd. And Justina Kowalczyk already out on the track. She'll try to eat up the distance between herself and Randall very quickly. Heidi Weng looking eager to get away. 1:13 the margin for the 21-year-old Norwegian, who's certainly gone up the rankings this year. Impressive move by Weng. We'll go through that later. Shakalova is off for Russia. Teresa Johaug goes for Norway. The little dynamo is away. No one will ski with the same tempo as her, and she'll push and push and push, and don't be surprised if she finishes in the top 3. Kyllönen of Finland goes number 8. Nicole Fessel of Germany, number 9 on the far side, and Celine Brun-Lee of Norway wrapping up the first 10.
It's amazing. And position, Patrick, position 2 all the way down to 14. There's another 52 seconds separating those 13 skiers. I suppose that just shows the margin which Bjørgen has set herself. She's clear by 53 seconds from anybody.
Stader wears 13 today. Number 14 is Ida Sargent of USA, 24-year-old. She's done really well this year. Jessica Diggins, her teammate, just behind her in 15th, 1:53 off the lead of Marit Bjørgen. And I don't think we're going to see too much of those minor placings, because we will keep our eye on the fight for 2nd, 3rd and 4th, which is going to develop between the 3 ladies on the screen at the moment, or the 2 on the screen, plus Keegan Randall, who's just out front.
Look at this. Kowalczyk's pulled back 3 seconds on Latenmäki already after only 2.5 minutes. It's not big margins. The descent down the hill, she tried to close there.
Well, we'll see fairly soon whether Kowalczyk wants to try and challenge Marit Bjørgen today. Little slip from Marit Bjørgen. Again, we thought she was a little bit light on the wax in the sprint, Mike. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you know if you go heavy with the wax, you lose all your speed on the downhill. But if you go light, you sure regret it at the top of these climbs, particularly here in Kuusamo, where they don't ease off as you approach the top.
Yes, and with wax that isn't working perfectly, where you press down, you get good grip. You have to tense up, you use a lot more energy, and without a doubt, Bjørgen slipping slightly about halfway up this climb. It's an unbelievably steep climb. You can see they've disappeared. That is the steepness of this little climb.
Good work from Heidi Weng behind. Weng's progress in the World Cup standings have been really impressive, Mike. 110 to 59. Last year she finished 10th, so she's gained 50 places every year. And then, of course, she can't do that now because having finished 10th last year. But she's lying in 6th at the moment. Might well be a contender for a top 5 at the end of the year. Kowalczyk trying to make ground on the climb, but deciding it's better to tuck in behind Keegan Randall. Now, with the snow falling as heavily as this, Mike, that could be the one downfall for Marit Bjørgen, because she's ploughing through the fresh snow. Everyone else here is on pre-pressed tracks, and by the time you get down to position 20, 25, it will make a significant difference.
I honestly think it will. Maybe more so what you think on this first rotation of 2.5 kilometers. Remember, they're going round this track 4 times.
Well, we'll keep an eye on... Yes, I think that's the saving grace for Bjørgen, actually, the fact that once she's gone round once, she'll be back on the press tracks. But the snow is heavy enough for, what, half a centimetre, maybe even a centimetre to fall in between each lap. That was Therese Johaug wearing 7. She's pulled a little bit clear of Anne Kyllönen. She only started 2 seconds in front. She's extended that to closer to 5-6. And in a minute, we're going to see what the margins are. Bjørgen started 52 ahead. She's that's astonishing. That is astonishing. She's opening up the gap very rapidly indeed. Kowalczyk has stayed, she started 1:01, so Kowalczyk's lost 8 seconds to Marit Bjørgen, but that battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th is getting good. Weng 1:14, she started 1:13 behind, so Weng is moving nicely, and Therese Johaug started 1:26. Once again, she is moving quicker than anyone, and last year she was the fastest on this particular race.
Johaug is definitely at this predicted pace. She's going to pull back Randall, Latenmäki, Kowalczyk and maybe then go on to lead that pack. I am surprised that Kickin Randall hasn't gone harder. She's lost 16 seconds in that first 1.4 kilometres. It's huge. Look at the snow. We thought it might slow Marit Bjørgen down. It certainly hasn't.
Unreal, unreal. She's got good skis, and when you're the best in the world, you get the best choice of ski, and that does make a big difference. But the snow conditions are having an effect, because they're allowing those who started in 5th, 6th and 7th to gain on those three, the chasing group, let's call them.
This with Randall, Latinmäki, Kowalczyk and Weng, they must, last night at the team meetings, have been warned that Therese Johaug is going to go like a little rocket to close them down fast, and that's exactly what she's doing.
What she's doing, but she knows she has to. Racing that sort of race, Mike, she wants to get in contact with the group and then tuck in behind, and hopefully they'll help her through the next phase. If the group decide to up the pace as soon as Johaug reaches them, then the Norwegian could struggle a little to stay with it. It'll be interesting to see how those tactics pan out. But Marit Bjørgen, a brilliant start. She said she'd have a look at the time splits at the halfway stage and decide what to do.
Well, Therese Johaug has taken 4 seconds off Bjørgen's time, and that's at 1.4 kilometres. You just feel that Marit Bjørgen's slowed it down a little. She will have received the information that the chase pack are losing.
Well, the nice thing about this multiple loop race is that she'll be able to see exactly where they are, and each time round she'll say they're getting a bit closer, so I'll speed up. They're getting further away, I'll ease off, and she can control the race from the front. There's nothing the chasing group can do. Going through, Heidi Weng is absolutely on the charge. Good race from her. Kowalczyk, Mike, wearing 4, the queen of classic skiing, unbeaten for a long time over 10 kilometres classic, is still not looking anything like her Tour de Ski form from last year.
She's not. I'm wondering, Patrick, she was leading. Sorry, Kowalczyk was first and then second in this group, but on the downhill descent, I wonder if she's losing time with her glide factor. We'll see that as she drops out of the stadium area.
That's true. Now, she wouldn't be racing if she was ill, so we can rule out any ill health. So I guess the only 2 explanations we've got is either she hasn't trained enough this summer and just isn't as strong, or she's trained too much and is sort of subdued because of all the training she's been through. Which would you go for?
I would say yes. I would say she's suppressed from over-training, her preparation leading into the season. That's what it seems like. And, well, we'll have to wait and see. She's got her focus on the Tour de Ski as well after Christmas.
Well, Heidi Weng has only lost 1 second to Marit Bjørgen. Kowalczyk has lost 15. Latinmäki has lost even more, 19 seconds. And Therese Johaug, now 1:22, has gained 6. So Johaug still the quickest in that chasing group and the fastest through 2.5 kilometres. And remember, 5,000 Swiss francs on offer for the fastest time today, plus, of course, 50 World Cup points. 8, that's Kiloinen, started 1:28 behind, it's now 1:45. Skofterud 1:41 to 1:55. It's a shame she wasn't a little closer to the front at the start of today, because she's a very good classic skier. Jessica Diggins on the right of your screen, wearing 15. 21-year-old from Minnesota. She's got a rosy future. I hope she doesn't over-race this season, and we see her build as the year goes on.
Great glide there on bib 7 on Therese Johaug's skis. She passed these 2 on the descent.
So Kickin Randall starting to suffer a little bit, I feel. And is that Justyna Kowalczyk? Yes, Justyna Kowalczyk has responded to the efforts of Heidi Weng and gone with the Norwegian. And that's an interesting move, Mike. Do you think Kowalczyk's trying to get second place with minimal effort?
I would say so right now. I do wonder if Kowalczyk had taken a little stumble on the journey back into the stadium for her to be at the back of the pack. She certainly can match them on the climbing.
It could only be Therese Johaug. the world champion over 30 kilometres in the freestyle, is proving herself to be a pretty handy classic skier as well. And she's caught up with the chasing group, which has changed completely. Randall and Latenmäki have been blown away, and now we have two Norwegians sandwiching the great Justina Kowalczyk, and they're trying to close down on the race leader, Marit Bjørgen, who must be very confident. Nice easy style, skiing at what do you think, 85% at the moment?
Possibly a little higher. I can't see she would risk just taking it down to about 85, probably up to 87, 88%, but it certainly looks comfortable.
I remember doing a session where we try to ski at 75, 80, 85, 90, 95%, and 90, 95 were no quicker than 80, 85, simply because you didn't ski as well, you didn't ski as efficiently.
That's so true, and when we look at, we'll get another chance to see Therese Johaug. When you compare her style to Heidi Weng, who was just ahead of her, Weng is sliding through from the hip, using the skis, or using each compression of energy to slide forward, compared to Therese Johaug, who just appeared to be running. So definitely working harder. This is the beautiful technique where you're sliding the foot forward in order to carry the momentum from the compression.
57 wins already, going to make it 58, we think, today. And that doesn't include the Tour, the stage races, of which she's already had 2 this week. So if you include those, I think we're closer to 80 with Marit Bjørgen. But she's highly likely to make it 3 Kuusamo tours in succession. We've only had 3, and so totally dominant. Further back, Keegan Randall wearing 2. Not quite as dynamic as Bjørgen, but what a start to the season for her.
I just sense that Keegan Randall, bib 2 there on the left, that she's got her wax maybe not as good or as efficient. Her glide certainly down the descent from the stadium was much slower than Johaug, and there she's having, I think it's icing up under her base.
No, I think she was just wanting to get in time with Latenmäki so she can ski that little bit closer. There's nothing worse than clipping the skis of the skier in front. In fact, there is something worse. That's having someone behind you clip your skis when you're going along, infuriating.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Good way to wind someone up.
But it happens with all these mass starts and pursuits. It's tight racing, and those situations do happen regular.
Well, there you see the margins, 1:14, and Therese Johaug still the biggest gainer so far on the time set by Marit Bjørgen, and I'm sure that if Marit Bjørgen stays a minute ahead of everyone, she'll just take it easy later on. No travelling for her over the next few months. She'll get a bit of altitude training in just before the Christmas period, and of course the Tour de Ski starts over the new year, which means that their Christmas celebrations are certainly cut short.
Oh, it's a serious game, isn't it? So yes, they can't take any downtime really. They will take some easy days, but when you've got the Tour de Ski starting on the 29th of December, that is the key focus for most of these athletes. Therese Johaug from 7th to 2nd. I thought, as you mentioned, I thought she might rest in behind Heidi Weng for a little longer to get some form of recovery, but she's having none of it.
That's quite a good move from her. The more she changes track, the more she's going to tire Kowalczyk, who's not quite as light on her feet. And certainly Kowalczyk's going to try and track Johaug all the way round this one, do as little work as possible. Best of the sprinters in that group of 3 has to be Kowalczyk, I think.
I think so, especially when you look at the strength, although Therese Johaug has the tempo to attack the final climb.
Their skis all running pretty well. Heidi Weng certainly having to stand tall at the back of that group of 3, and she'll be glad to see that her skis are running well. Here they come, still no closer to Marit Bjørgen, who leads the way here in Kuusamo. They'll get another glimpse of the race leader as they come back towards the stadium. Here she is, 5 kilometers completed, the time on the clock 15:05. That is pretty slow.
It's a very slow time. I think these conditions, this new powder snow that has dropped, must be slowing it down. We'd expect, what, a 13-minute rotation. Well, Bjørgen must be feeling quite happy now as she rotates through the stadium, she'll see where the chasing girls are. And she's probably expected to see Johaug leading it.
What do you think the margin will be? Closer to 105, 110?
I don't think it'll be less than 105. Well, Johaug is definitely lifting the attack pace here. She is the fastest on the track. There's Bjørgen, just must be feeling comfortable seeing them so far behind.
Well, it's not going to have changed too much. 50 on the clock, and there we have a little stumble by Therese Johaug. That might have done her a favour actually, Mike, because now she can sit in behind the other two, and I don't think they'll try and put on a burst to get away.
Was she, were the tails of her skis that might have been clipped accidentally by Kowalczyk just on that little bend?
That's a possibility, certainly a possibility, but I think she might also have collided with the little banner on the side of the track. We might see a slow-mo of that. 116, 117, so now Bjørgen starting to stamp her authority again, and that group of three, here we go.
Let's get the camera to her skis.
We're not going to learn anything from that shot.
Surprised though.
I think she'd have been uttering a few curses had it been Kowalczyk's fault, and she certainly didn't look to be too angry.
I would imagine now Johaug at the back of the three, Heidi Weng, Kowalczyk, she'll probably overtake them on the downhill. She tripped over herself, I think.
Easily done. Easily done, but no real damage in this case. Had it been a time trial, it would have cost her 5 to 10 seconds. Let's have a look at the others coming through. Lattenmäki and Randall still pretty much locked together, just half a second separating them, and they've still got a cushion of almost 30 seconds between themselves and Skofterud. So Skofterud really just needs to control 7th position and keep Fessel and Stera and Kiloinen at bay. Diggins is now 2:23 behind, and Diggins of USA at the start of today was 1:53, so she's lost 30 seconds to the race leader. Medvedeva of Russia, 2:37. The Russians have never won here, Mike. Extraordinary. And they're not going to win today. Not in the women's, anyway. They've won in the men's 2 days in succession.
That's true. I think the Russian women will be disappointed with a 6th position, and then 27th, 28th, 31st and 32nd.
Well, cast your eye over that little caption, the top positions, from 52 seconds, remember, Marit Bjørgen had at the beginning. So she really is on incredible form. And I just wonder whether Egil Christiansen, the Norwegian coach, is a bit concerned that she's too good too early in the season. Well, we're just hearing that the jury have been called to a meeting, and one of the athletes, number 62, has been given a 32-second penalty for an early start. That was Matrasova of Kazakhstan. Well, she started 2:51 behind Bjørgen, so effectively now starting almost 3.5 minutes down. She's not done herself any favours with that whatsoever. Well, she will have gained, what, half a second?
Probably less. I mean, I can't understand that. Normally you've got the officials there making sure that each athlete sticks to their time, which is written on a board in front of them. But you're so keen to get away, you just kind of lose any sense of really what you're doing. You do need a marshal guiding you.
Third time round. One more lap to go after this one for Marit Bjørgen, and it's all looking very, very easy. Foregone conclusion. She could fall, she could break a ski, I suppose. I can't see anything else happening to her on the way round. So Johaug, wearing 7, goes into the front of this group of 3, now actually alongside Kristina Kowalczyk, and Heidi Weng looking to struggle for the first time. Her tempo's dropped a little, but I've been so impressed with Weng this season, Mike. It's nice to see this steady rise of form, and she's still pretty young. 2 podiums already in her career.
Heidi Weng, I love the way she skis. Her technique is good. Only 21-year-old, as you say, very young, and well, 2 gold and a bronze medal at the Junior World Championships in Otepää. She's just losing contact now. I'm surprised. She's obviously on her absolute limit. Much easier being in behind two athletes than creating this gap. Psychologically as well as the physical distance.
She might get it back on the downhill section. But Justyna Kowalczyk is starting to turn the screw, and if she wants to win the overall World Cup, she needs to pick up a bag full of points. In the past, Mike, when she's won the overall World Cup, she's relied quite heavily on the massive points, the 400 points that she wins for winning the Tour de Ski, which she's done 3 years in succession.
And that's where I think Kowalczyk and of course her coaching team, the Kowalczyk team, very intelligent. They look at her strengths. They know that she can punch every day almost harder than anyone when it's 7, 8 consecutive days. She's got this amazing strong mentality. But with Bjørgen saying that she wants the Tour de Ski this year, Kowalczyk's really going to have to fight once again.
Yeah, the Tour de Ski is going to be fascinating. I hope you can join us for that over the New Year's period. Start on the 29th of December, and it runs through to the 6th of January, I think the last day on the Alpe Chemise, the big climb up the Alpe Chemise. It's slightly shorter, as in we've got 2 less events. I'm not sure who that favours. Is it Bjørgen or Kowalczyk will benefit from that? Probably Bjørgen, because as you say, Kowalczyk can just race hard day after day after day. But at some stage in the race, Bjørgen's going to have to find somewhere to get a lead of maybe 2 minutes over Kowalczyk, because she needs it for the Alpe Chemise.
That is so true, but I think also the much improved athlete this year, we didn't see it yesterday in the freestyle, but Therese Johaug has worked so hard to improve her sprint speed, and we saw her at least making the top 30. Last year she didn't make the top 30 here to make the finals. She was down in 47th last year, so she has improved her game. So maybe Johaug will pick up more points in the sprint races, and she is going to be the fastest on the big climb on the final day.
Well, maybe we've got 3 of those women in the front 4 of this race. Maybe Heidi Weng can join them. She's got back in contact. Good downhill speed from Heidi Weng. We picked that up on the last loop, but as the snow increases, I think that will help Weng. It won't help Bjørgen. She's going to need a snow plough in front, and they won't have anything out on the tracks just to press it in. She's going to have to work quite hard on the last loop.
On the left, I do like the way the organisers here have prepared for this. They've got voorlaufers, or club skiers, out compressing the track just ahead of Bjørgen, but not in sight of her for the visual on the camera.
This is the final climb up into the stadium, and they of course have 1 more loop to go, so this is where all the action could happen with these 3 women in their bid to win 2nd place. And still they've made no impression on Marit Bjørgen.
Heidi Weng, she just, when you look at her facial expression, she doesn't look pained. She really is on her limits.
Yeah, I don't think she's got as good a grip on the skis as the 2 in front. And consequently, she's got less wax, which is why she's going better on the downhills. But this race finishes with a long uphill section and a desperate need for wax. So I think that could prove her undoing.
Quite possibly. We'll have to wait and see. You're right, but Heidi's back into it now at the back of this 3. Bjørgen passed at exactly the same margin as the last rotation, and I do wonder if Marit Bjørgen will back off a little bit in this final 2.5.
1:16, 1:17 seconds, the margin after 3 laps, and it's going to be just a little bit bigger than that as they start the final lap. And I think Marit Bjørgen might be fancying getting the 50 points for the fastest time today. On this sort of form, she won't find it too difficult. Therese Johaug, no, 1:22. She's still 4 seconds quicker than Bjørgen at this stage. So Bjørgen is going to have to push a little if she wants to maintain that. And there's every chance that she'll have asked the Norwegian coaches to give her splits on the top 3 runners.
It's all changed again, so Johaug leading the chase pack, but really at 1:22 they're not making an impression at all. They're losing all the time.
A little bit of an advantage for Randall over Latenmäki. Those 2 started pretty much together, and they're not separated by much at the moment. And Randall's going to have to keep the pressure on to hold on to that 6-second lead. Down the only significant descent, they've got to get as much rest on this section as possible. And again, Weng having to stand a little taller to make sure she doesn't run into the back of Justyna Kowalczyk. she'll be regretting that there's not a long downhill to the finish, because that would have suited her very nicely. Number 13 is Kristin Sturma Stera of Norway. Many thanks to our viewers for the advice on how to pronounce her name. It's a tricky one. Skofterud in 8th. Now, I'm a little disappointed, Mike. We haven't seen the wildlife that we saw yesterday, having done our research. Thanks to Dagmar for sending in a message about the waxwings that featured quite heavily in yesterday's programme. I think we were short of cameras. Birds that apparently hang around in car parks. That's what it said in the book. But a little red dot on the wing, which is why they're called the waxwing. Well, there you see the standings once again. 122, 123. That margin may shrink, but there's no way they're going to catch Bjørgen at this stage. Jessica Diggins still doing well. She's into 13th, having started 15th. Well, it's got to be good news for the tourist board, Mike. They've spent a fortune on artificial snow, which gives them a good base, and now they're getting centimetre or feet, if not meters, of fresh snow on top.
Oh, and you know, this downfall of snow, it will last them all the way through to April, practically. Mid-April. You can still ski here to the end of April, in fact. The sting has been taken out of the chase pack, and now it's Heidi Weng taking the initiative at the front.
Yeah, I think she's playing a Nordic. Here comes Kowalczyk. As soon as the uphill starts, she says, this is my chance to go. Kowalczyk's been trying to ease it off because she's got to make an early break. She doesn't want it to turn into a sprint. And Heidi Weng suddenly goes backwards as the incline increases.
Is Kowalczyk going to keep this momentum? She'll disappear for a moment, so steep is the hill, but is she going to really attack at this point? I think it's a good place for her to make the move. Best of the Finns, Patrick. Kilonen, she started 8th, she's now in 10th. So I think a little disappointing for the Finnish national team. One of the best movers, Elizabeth Steven, 24th up into 14th.
That's a good performance. And what about Masako Ishida of Japan, who started number 29? She's got herself into a decent position as well. She's moved all the way up into 11th position, 2:42 behind, and she started 2:11 behind. So she's only lost 30 seconds to the race leader, Marit Bjørgen. That's a good performance. We should get another split in around 20 seconds. Heidi Weng, even more work to do on this occasion, but she is quicker on the downhills. Will she be able to close down that 30-metre gap that's opened up between Kowalczyk and herself? .122 was the last gap. Therese Johaug was the quickest in this event last year. 27:51, I think, was the winning time, and it was a freestyle race, so significantly quicker. They didn't have any fresh snow, and they didn't have temperatures down at -10, -11. So altogether, a much easier race. And the top three: Johaug, Bjørgen, Skofterud, with Saarinen, the best non-Norwegian, racing for Finland. Anna Haag of Sweden went well. Charlotte Kalla missing. She's decided to just train. Didn't want to take part in this mini tour, which might be an indication that Charlotte Kalla is focusing on the Tour de Ski as well, Mike.
Quite possibly. Well, remember when she came to the world's attention when she won the Tour de Ski. Well, I think she was only 20 at the time. But she hasn't had a whole lot of... Well, she hasn't fulfilled the potential we thought after she had such a great 9 days there on the Tour de Ski.
Well, I think that Tour de Ski put her out of top form for 18 months, 2 years. It took her that long to recover from the efforts.
Well, that's right. Going on to the World Cup Tour after that, it's the relentless racing which does the damage. Talking about relentless, Kowalczyk has opened up a 5-second. It was 5 seconds, but Johaug is trying to react now to pull it back.
Heidi Weng hasn't given up hope of finishing on the podium. She's still pushing hard on the flat section. I think Weng knows that if she can get to the top of the final climb in contact with either Kowalczyk or Johaug, she's got a good chance of out sprinting them down the finish line, because the glide on her skis is so good. Marit Bjørgen is there already, coming back towards the crowds, and as she enters the stadium for the final time, Justyna Kowalczyk may be getting more and more confident that second place is going to be hers.
It's not over yet when Johaug, her very small stature and light body weight on the final climb, has she got anything left to attack?
Well, Justyna Kowalczyk is perhaps the best climber in Classic in a race like this, because even if the skis aren't working well, even if she's not feeling 100%, she can dig as deep as Therese Johaug. Well, look at this. A cruise to the line. It's been an easy race today. A training session indeed for Marit Bjørgen, and yet another victory. Another 200 points, 33,000 Swiss francs in the bank. Thank you very much. And an easy day's work. All the hard work's been done behind her. Now, Heidi Weng coming back into contact. Kowalczyk making a little bit of a hash of the initial part of the climb and losing some momentum. That could be a chance for Johaug to come back.
Look at Heidi Weng. This is an amazing turnaround of pace. I thought she was done and finished, but she's really fighting back. Can she even pull back on Kowalczyk?
Well, she's gone flying past Therese Johaug, and we know she's got good skis for the finish. Where is Kowalczyk? She's still got some 15 metres to spare. So now Kowalczyk pushing for second. Second place, Heidi Weng, who's still working hard, but the gap is still significant, Mike. If Kowalczyk gets cleanly round the final corner, she does.
She realises that she's going to have to keep the momentum. Heidi Weng still trying to close it down.
But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Kowalczyk is safe. She's only got 60 metres to go. Her best result of the season so far. She's still not convincing us that she's anywhere near her best form, but she gets second place. She gets some very good World Cup points and starts to put some pressure on Marit Bjørgen. But the margin 121, Weng 123. Now remember, Therese Johaug started 126 behind Marit Bjørgen, and she finishes 134. Kowalczyk started 101, so Bjørgen is quicker than her. So Bjørgen will, by the looks of things, get the quickest time today.
What an amazing athlete, Bjørgen, out there on her own, nobody to kind of help her. The three working here, it's an advantage when you're working together, pacing each other almost, or pushing each other. And it's a pity for Kikkan Randall having such a lonely race out there. She tried to stay with the pack, but just not strong enough to date.
But what a season she's had. Third in Gällivare. She finished in 10th place in the sprint here, which wasn't a bad result. Second yesterday in the 5 kilometre, and she's in the top 5 again today with this performance. And she's certainly put the Americans on the map. But what I really like is the fact that she's brought the youngsters in the American team with her. Diggins is doing well. We've seen that time and time again. Ida Sargent's having a fantastic season as well.
It's a good point, and success breeds success. You're working and training around an athlete of Kikkan Randall's stature. It really does lift the whole country.
Lautenmäki 233 down in 6th place. The best of the home skiers. Skofterud 7. Not a bad run from Skofterud. She started 12. Stiara 8. But what about Ishida from 29th? She's worked her way all the way up into 9th position, and that's an exciting result for the Japanese. That's a fantastic result for the Japanese.
Oh, she's got to be so impressed with that. I certainly am, and the Japanese will feel so good about that performance.
Stephen of USA gets herself into the World Cup points, and convincingly so. Sargent likewise. Ivanova of Russia down in 19th. And just trying to see those who've made good gains. Number 25, that was Niskanen of Finland, went from 25 to 12. Good work from her. And Iskanova of Russia, 32nd up into 16th, so she gained 16 places. And you can't complain at that. Good work from her. Shevchenko of Ukraine, Mike, she's outside the top 25. at one time she was the best distance skier in the World Cup. She did win the overall distance World Cup one season.
Yes, just and last season we saw her drop off in form, and hasn't really proved too much so far this season. Photo finish, Shevchenko 45 up to 26, so she has lifted a good number of positions.
Maria Gashina of Russia went from 41 up to 20th, and she started 2:25 behind. She finished well over 3 minutes behind, so she hasn't challenged the fastest time from Marit Bjørgen. Just trying to check to see if anyone's got anywhere near Bjørgen's time, but it looks as though she's some 7-8 seconds quicker than anyone else, so will pick up the 50 World Cup points, which means that after 4 races of the season she has maximum points. Astonishing. Well, what a day, and another display of brilliance. 31:19, the winning time from Marit Bjørgen. Well, it's North America next for these women, Mike. A good programme over there, concentrating on the sprints, and that's not a bad idea because that's where the Canadians and the Americans generally do the best.
And 2 wonderful locations. Quebec, some great facilities there. I've raced there in a biathlon World Cup. And of course Canmore, they keep on improving the facilities in Canmore. Just one of the best places to ski, and beautiful backdrop with the Rockies.
Yeah, Canmore just what, an hour and a half from Calgary, and just down the road from Banff and Lake Louise. It's a wonderful area, and I hear they've already got some good snow conditions, so there's no danger of races being cancelled over there. Marit Bjørgen won't be travelling. She's decided to save her energy for the Tour de Ski, the one trophy that is missing from her cabinet.
I think it's great planning from the Norwegians. The World Cup in Gällivare last weekend, this intense racing 3 days in Finland, and then some time out, some training time out, just making sure she's keeping her form and her fitness and her health.
Well, let's have confirmation. Here are the standings. This is the result of the mini tour, not the timings from today, essentially. So Bjørgen, Kowalczyk, Weng are the 3 fastest. Another great result from Heidi Weng. She's certainly got her position in the Norwegian team for the rest of the season, no doubt about that. And she's taken the scalp of Therese Johaug. And she was a long way off the pace being set by Johaug at the end of October, beginning of November.
It's very impressive, and a huge talent, Heidi Weng, but so is Johaug. They develop them young, they make them great young, and it carries on through till at least 30-year-old.
Well, that just about wraps up our programme from Kuusamo, but we do have one more race, the men's 15-kilometre, and again it will be a classic style. This time it is going to be Petter Northug who leads the way out of the stadium. Mike, 2 days in succession he's been beaten by Russians. Cumulatively he has the best time, but he's going to have to work. He's not going to find it quite as easy as Marit Bjørgen did.
Well, that's right. Legkov is going to be chasing him down, and so will many. They'll be really trying to close the gap on Petter Northug, the great Petter Northug.
Well, the men's cross-country skiing starts at 11:30 European time, so 10:30 in the UK. And we'll have that for you a little bit later on. Plenty of biathlon coming up as well. Thanks for your company. But for now, from Kuusamo, it's goodbye.